Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into the tech behind some everyday wonders.
The stuff we use all the time.
Yeah, but never really think about how it works.
Right, like Google Maps, Spotify, those concert wristbands that light up.
Oh, yeah, those are so cool. How do they even do that?
Well, that's what we're going to unpack today.
Love it. And speaking of unpacking, if you like these deep dives, be sure to hit that subscribe button.
And share it, leave us a comment. You know the drill.
Exactly. Okay, so first up, Google Maps, used by over 1 billion people monthly. Crazy, right?
It's pretty mind-boggling when you think about it. It wasn't always the mobile powerhouse it is today, though.
True. Started as a desktop thing, if I remember correctly. Evolved a ton over, 17 years now?
Something like that. But think about it. It basically builds a real-world model using all this data.
Satellite imagery, is that where it starts?
Yep. Satellite and aerial imagery layered with what they get from Street View.
Oh, right, Street View. Didn't they used to have those gigantic cameras for that?
Oh, yeah. Massive things. Weighed like 500 pounds. They've managed to get them down to 15 pounds, though.
That's still pretty hefty. But I guess they need to be sturdy to capture all those images.
Plus, they need to go to some crazy places. They've used camels, even divers to get Street View shots.
No way. I never knew that. So how do they go from images to that detailed map we see on our phones?
Photogrammetry is the key. It's how they stitch those images together, create a 3D model.
Ah, so it's like building a digital twin of the planet.
Precisely. Then they layer that model with Street View, GPS data, the whole shebang.
Okay, makes sense. But the world is constantly changing. How does Google Maps keep up?
Machine learning plays a big role. But they also have human map operators making sure everything's accurate.
And they get a lot of updates, right?
Tons. We're talking 50 million updates every day from users, businesses, local governments.
Wow, 50 million. So that's how they can give us real-time traffic updates and stuff.
Exactly. Their algorithms analyze historical traffic patterns, current traffic flow, even anonymized location data.
So Google knows where we are all the time. A little creepy, isn't it?
Well, that's where the privacy concerns come in. Experts have raised questions about Google's data collection practices.
Makes sense. What's Google doing about it, though?
They've implemented things like differential privacy, which adds noise to the data to protect individual identities.
Interesting. And I guess users have control over their location history and data sharing settings.
Right. But it's a constant balancing act between convenience and privacy in this digital age.
Definitely something to think about. All right, let's switch gears to Spotify. How does it know our musical tastes so well?
It's the magic of algorithms, actually a combination of different approaches.
Okay, spill the beans.
So one key approach is what they call collaborative filtering.
Collaborative filtering. Sounds complicated.
Not really. Imagine like a web of songs. Each connection is users listening to those songs together.
Okay, so the more users listen to the same 2 songs, the stronger that connection is.
Exactly. Spotify analyzes those connections to suggest similar music you might enjoy.
So if I listen to, like, a lot of jazz, it'll suggest other jazz artists or maybe even blues artists.
Right. It's like Spotify is saying, hey, you like this, you might also like that.
Cool. But does it only look at genre?
Nope. They also use what's called content-based filtering, analyzing the actual audio characteristics of songs.
What do you mean? Like the beat and stuff?
Exactly. Tempo, rhythm, key, even stuff like danceability. So Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson would have a high danceability score.
Ah, so if I listen to upbeat music, it'll suggest more of that.
Makes sense, right? And they even look at a song's structure, the intro versus choruses.
Wow, they really analyze the music itself. But I've also heard they have actual human editors working on playlists.
You're right. They still play a crucial role, especially in highlighting new artists and unearthing hidden gems.
So it's a mix of human expertise and algorithmic magic.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But doesn't relying on algorithms risk introducing bias?
That's a big concern. Spotify is working on mitigating that by diversifying their music catalog.
So the algorithm has a more diverse data set to learn from.
Exactly. It's about creating a more equitable and inclusive musical landscape.
Now let's talk about those mesmerizing LED wristbands at concerts. You know, the ones that sync up with the music.
Oh, yeah, those are fantastic. They really elevate the whole concert experience.
They do. It's like the entire audience becomes part of the show.
Yeah.
But how do they actually work?
Most commonly, they use radio frequency signals, or RF, to control the wristbands.
So like a wireless network, but just for the wristbands.
You got it. A central transmitter sends signals, tells them when to change color, intensity, all synced with the music.
That's like a choreographed dance of light.
Perfect way to put it.
But how do they create those intricate patterns and effects. Is it all pre-programmed?
A lot of it is, but the lighting designers also have real-time control, making the lights react to the music, the performers.
Even the audience's energy?
Sometimes, yeah. It's a really cool blend of technology and human creativity.
That's incredible. Okay, before we go any further, just a quick reminder to subscribe to our channel.
And like the video, leave a comment, let us know what you think.
We love hearing from you. And if you're enjoying this on another platform, find us on YouTube. Just search for FMKE News.
We've got tons of content there, all kinds of deep dives, politics, sports, religion, research, you name it.
So much to explore. We'll be right back with more tech deep dives after a quick break.
It's amazing how those wristbands can make you feel so connected to everyone else in the crowd.
It really does. Speaking of feeling connected, let's talk about noise-canceling headphones, a personal escape from the noise of the world.
They're like magic, aren't they?
Total magic. But seriously, how do they work?
It's all about clever engineering. They use microphones and sound processing to, well, cancel out the noise.
Okay, break it down for me.
So the headphones have tiny microphones that pick up the ambient noise around you.
They're like listening in on everything.
In a way, yes. They're analyzing the sound waves of all the unwanted noise.
Got it. Then what?
Then the magic happens. The headphones create what's called an inverted sound wave, basically. A mirror image of the noise.
A mirror image. So like
Yeah.
fighting fire, but with sound.
Exactly. And that inverted wave is played through the headphone speakers, canceling out the original noise.
Whoa. So I'm left with just the audio I want to hear.
Music, a podcast, even blissful silence, whatever you choose.
But doesn't that create a safety issue? Like, what if you can't hear traffic or something?
That's why a lot of noise-canceling headphones now have something called transparency mode.
Transparency mode, what's that?
It lets you hear external sounds without taking off your headphones, like a sonic window to the outside world.
So you can still be aware of your surroundings. That's pretty cool.
Definitely. It's all about having the best of both worlds. Now let's talk about something completely different. The Sphere in Las Vegas.
Oh, that giant dome. It's hard to miss.
It's not just a venue, it's a technological marvel, pushing the boundaries of entertainment and immersive experiences.
I've heard it's mind-blowing.
It truly is. Inside, you've got the world's largest high-definition screen wrapping around the audience.
Wow. What kind of tech goes into something like that?
Well, the screen itself is insane. Something like 170 million LED lights. Higher resolution than anything you've ever seen.
170 million. That's incredible.
And they have a special camera system called Big Sky to capture footage specifically for this massive canvas.
Big Sky, huh? What's so special about it?
It's like having multiple eyes capturing every detail. Essentially, 11 cameras combined to get a super wide-angle view.
It's like having panoramic vision, but on a cinematic scale.
Exactly. And to make sure everything looks natural on that curved screen, they use a giant fisheye lens, plus sophisticated software to stitch the images together, correct for distortion.
Sounds like they've really thought of everything.
They have, and it's not just about the visuals either. The Sphere also uses haptic feedback, temperature changes, even scents.
Whoa, engaging all the senses. It's like a multi-sensory playground.
You could say that. The Sphere is truly redefining what's possible in entertainment.
Amazing. Okay, let's move on to a technology that's become a music lover's best friend. Shazam.
Ah, yes, the app that can name that tune stuck in your head.
I use it all the time. It's so accurate, even in noisy places. How does it do that?
The technology is actually pretty elegant. It analyzes the audio and creates a unique fingerprint for each song.
A fingerprint for a song?
Yep. It identifies key features like the peaks and valleys of the sound waves, creates a distinct pattern.
So like the song's sonic DNA.
Pretty much. Then Shazam compares that fingerprint to a massive database of songs.
And if it finds a match, boom, you know the song.
Exactly. And it all happens in seconds. It's pretty impressive.
It really is. But Shazam wasn't always an app, was it?
Nope. It started back in 2002 before smartphones were even a thing.
So how did people use it back then?
You had to call a special number and hold your phone up to the music. Then you'd get a text message with the song title and artist.
Wow, talk about a different era.
Technology has come a long way. But the core algorithm of Shazam has remained largely the same.
It's a classic case of a simple but powerful idea combined with smart technology. Now let's talk about tap to pay. It's made paying for things so much easier.
And more secure, too.
Really? How so?
It uses near-field communication, or NFC. It's a short-range wireless communication method.
Okay, but how does that make it safer?
Every time you tap, it generates a unique code for that transaction sent wirelessly to the terminal.
So it's harder for someone to steal your info.
Exactly. Plus, no physical swiping, so less risk of your card details being skimmed.
Good to know. So it's more convenient and safer. Win-win.
Definitely. Now let's talk about a technology that's been crucial for accessibility for decades. Closed captioning.
It's so important for people who are deaf or hard of hearing to be able to enjoy video content.
Absolutely. Closed captions provide that text representation of the audio so everyone can follow along.
I remember when you used to need those clunky decoders for closed captions.
Technology has advanced so much. Now they're seamlessly integrated into most platforms and devices.
It's amazing how far we've come. And it's not just for people with hearing impairments either.
You're right. Language learners, people in noisy environments, anyone can benefit.
They're a great tool for making video content more accessible to everyone.
And they're still evolving. Live captioning using speech recognition is getting really good.
It's fantastic how technology can break down those barriers. Now, let's switch gears and talk about screen readers, another technology that's vital for accessibility.
Screen readers are a game changer for people who are blind or visually impaired. They open up the digital world.
It's incredible how they can navigate the screen using just audio cues. How do they work?
They use text-to-speech engines to read aloud everything that's on the screen.
So it's like having a virtual assistant narrating everything.
Precisely. They can navigate menus, open apps, browse the web, all through audio.
It's amazing how technology can bridge the gap between the visual and auditory worlds.
And they're getting more sophisticated all the time. They can even handle complex layouts and interactive elements now.
Making the digital world more inclusive for everyone. That's fantastic.
Speaking of making information accessible, let's talk about text-to-speech itself.
It's come a long way from those robotic voices we used to hear.
It has. Now it's used in so many applications, virtual assistants, audiobooks, even personalized messages.
I've heard some text-to-speech voices that sound incredibly natural.
The technology has really advanced, and it's making a huge difference in education, too.
How so?
While students with learning disabilities, anyone who struggles with reading, they can now listen to textbooks and other materials.
That's a game changer. It's making education more inclusive and accessible for everyone.
Exactly. Speaking of inclusive education, let's talk about online education platforms.
They've exploded in popularity, haven't they? You can learn almost anything online these days.
It's amazing. They offer access to such a wide range of courses and learning experiences from anywhere in the world.
I've taken a few online courses myself. The quality and variety of content is impressive.
And they're always innovating interactive elements, gamification, personalized learning paths. It's making education more engaging.
It's an exciting time for learning. Technology is breaking down barriers and making education more accessible than ever.
Speaking of breaking down barriers,
Technologies like personalized medicine and renewable energy. That's technology being used for good.
definitely. Addressing big challenges, creating a more sustainable future.
It's inspiring. It gives me hope that we can use technology to make the world a better place.
Me too. But of course, we have to be realistic. Technology isn't always perfect.
True. There are downsides,
Yeah.
like the spread of misinformation on social media, for example.
Right. And ethical concerns around artificial intelligence. We can't just blindly embrace every new technology without considering the potential consequences.
It's a balancing act. We need to be aware of the risks, but also embrace the opportunities.
Exactly. Technology is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. It's up to us to use it wisely.
Couldn't agree more. Well, this has been an incredible conversation. I've learned so much.
Me too. It's always fascinating to delve into these everyday wonders and uncover the tech that makes them possible.
It really is. And before we wrap up, I want to thank all of our amazing listeners for joining us on this journey.
Yes, thank you so much for tuning in. We truly appreciate your support.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like.
And share it with your friends. Let's spread the tech knowledge far and wide.
And if you're watching on a different platform, be sure to search for FMKE News on YouTube. We've got a whole library of deep dives waiting for you there.
Politics, sports, religion, research, you name it, we dive into it.
We're passionate about bringing you insightful and engaging content, so stay tuned for more exciting episodes coming soon.
Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.